Hey everyone, it's Rich Schefren here, and I just wanted first to say hello. This is really kind of an impromptu live stream. It's going to be rather short. I have with me a colleague of mine, Darin Spindler, right? And there you are. And Darin is the Chief Marketing Officer for what is it called now?
It's Magnetic Marketing now, formerly GKIC, and formerly probably 3 or 4 other variations of acronyms, I suppose.
Yes, and I've when I presented the last time I presented at a Dan Kennedy event, I started my presentation with 2 slides, or actually 3. One was a image of me and Dan at the very first copywriting seminar I ever went to, which was sometime in the 1990s. And then it was Dan and I at some like Disney property where he brought his grandkids and him and I got together for the day. And, there's probably about 20 some odd years in between those 2 photos. And I made a joke because then I flashed my family. And I've known my family for less time than I've known Dan Kennedy, right? Dan has played a huge role in my life. And when you told me that he was going to be doing an event, I really wanted to be a part of it. One, because, there are only a few legends left. Really, I would put Gary Halbert's gone. Clayton Makepeace is gone. Right. We have Dan Kennedy. We got Jay Abraham, John Carlton. I'd put in that mix too. But, part of the old legends that guys like me learned from and then brought that stuff online. And so getting the chance to learn from any of those guys is a huge honor and treat. And so I thought it'd be great, to tell people what I'm going to present on. But I think first they should know more about the event. So why don't I hand it off to you for a few minutes, let people know the dates, where it is, what Dan is going to be talking about, what is the goal of the conference, what will be different when they leave, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so Rich, I, like you, have been a long time. Dan was one of my very first mentors, and geez, I followed him now for 20 plus years as well, even though I'm a relatively young guy. And actually, in addition to Dan at this event, John Carlton will be here as well. So John is going to be another one of our guest presenters. So it's going to be a really incredible event. But the event is one that Dan generally would put on in the summer, and what would be his, quote, mid-year event is what it used to be called. And he would have a theme each year. So this year, the theme is the Ultimate Sales Letter and the Ultimate Marketing Plan Live, which are really two of Dan's books, which is the Sales Letter book and the Marketing Plan book. And the reason that we wanted to put this event together is that, many people, I believe, struggle.
Did you see this?
I did. I get that every day, many times a day. We'll clear that up after I tell them about this. How about that, Rich?
Yeah, he is alive.
Yes, he's
very hard to do an event with him.
Yeah, so Dan and I will be live actually tomorrow from this same stage for I think about 30 minutes talking about the event as well. But the event, really, the goal here is to help people write better copy, right? So that's the sales letter, because many people struggle. And, the book is the sales letter, but Rich, you and I both know writing good copy is important, whether it's a sales letter in print. And once you learn how to do that from a structural basis, you apply the same thing to whether your Facebook ads, your YouTube, your Google ads, your emails, and everything. So learning copy and really the structure that Dan built as a foundation, I think, is really the small hinge that swings the big door, is understanding how to write really good copy that sells. And it's not as difficult as most people think. And if you've been able to sell your widget, whatever that widget is, face-to-face to anybody, you can write a darn good sales letter. And really, John Carlton's going to speak sort of about that as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Then the Ultimate Marketing Plan basically takes, okay, I got to have copy. Now I need to put it into a marketing plan. And we're going to talk all about the marketing plan. So what assets do you need to build to generate leads, do quality follow-up? What kind of promotions should you have on your promotions calendar? Things like that. And then we're going to bring in some other guest experts in addition to Dan. So Dan's actually going to do over 6 hours live as a part of this event. We're going to have 150 guests available here in Cleveland where they can actually be live in a room if they would like to travel. The planes are starting to fill up. I've traveled a lot, but we'd love to see you here in Cleveland. And you can join Rich and Dan and I and John Carlton and all of our other experts. But we'll also have a virtual option because we understand on a normal year, 30% of our audience comes from overseas or Canada. And frankly, who knows when they're going to be able to get into the country. So we do have a virtual option for them. So that's kind of the Dan segment of it. And then we've got what I'll say are some A-quality experts in a number of areas. So yourself, you're going to come in and talk about some of the little-known secrets to online marketing right now that people should be doing, but they don't know about. And that's going to be cool, and I'm going to let you talk about that in a moment. But then I've got Bob Rigneris. If you don't know Bob, he's the co-author of the Ultimate Guide to Facebook Advertising with Perry Marshall. And he's going to talk about how you apply good copy and insert that into your marketing plan on Facebook. A gentleman named Michael Johnson from Get Found First, who's really an expert on Google Ads. So that's a totally different, media and platform, and they're really experts there. Travis Lee, who's a longtime member of ours, who's 3D mail and direct response copy. He's going to be speaking. Darcy Juarez, who's really the queen of automation, and Darcy's well known throughout the GKIC magnetic marketing community. She's great with automation.
To steal her. So yeah, I know her well.
She's awesome. And then John Carlton will be speaking, so more on direct response copywriting. And it's going to be a great event full of high-quality A-list speakers that are here to help move your business forward, whether you have bricks and mortar or whether you're online.
Yeah, and if for those of you who have never had the opportunity to learn from Dan, it is really obvious how much Dan knows his stuff, how much he has worked in the trenches, and how little fluff there is in Dan Kennedy's presentations, because he's never trying to set you up for sale, even though that's what he teaches other people to do. He actually delivers just such great quality of stuff. And some of my favorite courses are from Dan, whether it's opportunity concepts, like how to learn how to take the best concepts from opportunity marketing and apply it to any business. And I learned a ridiculous amount from that. And then influential writing, which is probably my favorite of Dan's courses, which he talked about how to write for a newsletter. And one thing that I just want to go back to, and then I want to say hello to everyone that's typing in comments. So if you have any questions about the event, go ahead and type them in the comment section. It doesn't matter if you're watching it on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Periscope, or anywhere else. We'll see it and we'll reply. But the skill of copy transcends just making sales. And, I don't consider myself a copywriter, never have, because, and people who watch my stuff on a consistent basis know why. And it's primarily because I've never had to write to an audience other than an audience I was a part of. And so I've never had to learn what someone was thinking. I could just go with what I knew and what I believed people like me thought. But I have written some sales letters and they've done really well. And I learned primarily from Dan Kennedy and John Carlton. So it's pretty cool that, are you frozen, Darin, or are you just
I think I'm frozen, but I'll be back in a second.
Okay. And, but one of the things that I wanted to say, the skill of copy applies to all content marketing. It really applies to so much more than just making the sale. I remember when Billy Mays passed away, I wrote him and I were working on some stuff when he passed away. And so no one was writing a proper tribute to him. So I decided to write one, and it ended up being 28 pages long, and I put it on my blog. And one of the first comments was from Russell Brunson, who said, I've never read a blog post in full, let alone one that is 28 pages long when you print it out. But you hooked me at the beginning and kept me till the very end. And, many of my reports that went viral, they certainly were written in an extremely conversational tone, and they were written in a way that a copywriter would write copy. And so the skill of copy is much more than just to make a sale, even though obviously we're here to make sales. It pervades every part of your business if you're good at it, whether that's customer service, whether that's onboarding, whether that's content marketing, etc. And there's nobody better to learn from than Dan Kennedy and John Carlton. The likelihood of the two of them ever being in the same place again is quite rare, actually. I think maybe the last time that John spoke at his event might have been that first event that I was at. That for me. You're back, Darin. We can see.
Oh, look at that! I'm back.
Yeah.
This
So
is what we call a continuation of the hurdles in 2020/2021. But we're back. That's the good.
Well, and you're working out the kinks before Dan gets here because tomorrow, right? Like,
yes, we know Dan
he'll
loves
have less patience.
Yes.
All right,
well,
so
I always joke with folks that are the new AV teams that part of Dan's shtick is he always throws the AV team under the bus. So that's a steady.
So do you want to talk about this? I thought
Dan Kennedy passed away. So I guess it's a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago now. It'll be 2 years in I think September. Dan was very ill to the point where he was literally in hospice care or similar to hospice care. And he was moments from passing away. Dan, for those of you who know, because of his influential writing and communication, Dan, he's a diabetic. He's been a diabetic. There were many complications. He's lost his vision. So tomorrow when he comes, when he presents, it's almost all Q&A now with him because I have to do it. Most of our scripts that we work from are 24-point text. So when I fax him, yes, it's still fax. It's faxed with 24-point Arial font, and that's the way that we communicate. So Dan was very, very ill. Thankfully, he's made a comeback. He's still got significant limitations, but one thing he hasn't lost is his mind. I mean, he is as sharp as ever. And, one of the things that you brought up, Rich, I mean, is Dan, how much information that man has. Mm-hmm. And literally, it's like you can see him when you're interviewing him or working with him. It's like he's going to a file cabinet in his mind, and he's got the whole file cabinet right there. And like he knows the right exact story for the right time. And I think the difference between Dan and so many folks who are, quote, coaches today or consultants today is Dan's ability to really understand how to create a story that connects with the point he's trying to teach and really cement it in your mind. And he does that repetitively. And if you really watch him, that's the magic of Dan. And there's a lot to be learned from that for all of us and how to craft better stories. And, one of the things that you brought up was influential writing and communication. Mm-hmm. Certainly, Dan's magic is weaving in all of the personal stuff into your business so that people build a relationship with you. A lot of people today are like, oh, I can go out and get a lead magnet and get a bunch of leads and I can make a bunch of sales. But a lot of these people burn out. They're gone in 6 months, 12 months, a year. You never hear from them again. Dan's been at this for 30 plus years and he understands how to use Facebook as a media and as an acquisition tool. He doesn't personally use it, but he very clearly understands its magic. So, yes, Dan is still alive. Dan will be with me tomorrow live. If you want to watch him live, you can see him on our Facebook page tomorrow. He and I will be broadcasting live at some point tomorrow afternoon. But during the event, he's going to do 4 sessions. It'll be 90 minutes each. And it's going to be a fantastic event. I have had the pleasure of working with him over the last, I'll call it 15, 16 months. Last May, when I interviewed him for the first time, that was the first time he had significant time working back in the business. You could tell there were some significant limitations. He's made steady progress all the way along with his ability to read. He's put on weight and he's looking much better. And we're just thankful that he's still with us.
And this might be putting you on the spot. And if you don't know the answer, I apologize for asking the question. But I'm just curious, and I imagine other people are too. So just ask it, I guess. Why? Why is he doing it? Like, why? Like, at this point, he's got enough money. It sounds like, he was on death's door. Who knows when he'll return to being on death's door? I mean, no offense to Dan, but like,
Yeah.
When you're that close, it generally, you don't spring back to full health and then stay that way. So do you know the motivation of why he keeps going and wants to do this event? And, he's not doing it for his retirement. He's not doing it, for anything like that. So,
so I would say it's probably one of the things that will keep him alive is working. I think Dan's going to work until the moment that he enters the next life, whenever that may be. And hopefully it's a long time from now. But I think he's much like Warren Buffett. You get up every morning, and if you love what you do, Dan loves to write. He loves to work. He loves to read. That's one of the things that is most challenging to him right now, because he was a speed reader and he can't take in as much information as he used to, because he has to use a magnifying glass, and he just can't take as much in. And that's one of his frustrations. But honestly, I think Dan's work is what actually keeps him alive.
Interesting. Just a mental note, because Dan and I have a history with books. Like, anytime he's ever mentioned a book, I've found it, read it, etc. Right. And like, he's even written in his newsletter, like on one live stream that we were doing together with a bunch of other people, like he had mentioned a book, and he said, there's no doubt, like, because I came up to him after and I was like, who's the author of that? There's no doubt that I bought that book after that live stream, that I've already read it, and that's why I'm where I am and where most people are where they are. And so I learned to speed read using an iPad, and the iPad could make the text any size that you want, and it will scroll through the text for you. So maybe I can finally, maybe now that he can't speed read on his own, maybe he will bite the bullet and actually start embracing a little bit of tech. I know he's always used tech from a marketing
I would not put my life savings on that.
No, I wouldn't either. But maybe if I show it to him,
I don't even know if I'd put 100 on that, Rich.
I can be persuasive. But let's talk to some other people, and then I'll talk about what I'm talking about, and we can wrap it up. So
awesome.
We have Christy, who's a very loyal streamer, tuner, inner. So hello, Christy. Good to see you. And Russ, good evening from Colombia. Very cool. Good evening to you, Russ. When StreamYard doesn't know who it is, they just call them a Facebook user.
We got 3 flames, so that's good news.
Yeah, that's good. Miyuki from Tokyo. Hello, Miyuki. Good to see you. I attended 2 memorials for Dan. Then the resurrection came. Yeah, there were.
Yes. I think, Rich, it's really a powerful lesson to be learned from it as well. Like, certainly Dan wrote the letter that he thought was going to be his last letter. Yep. It did not say that I have passed away. Unfortunately, some people's reading comprehension stopped a couple paragraphs early. Yep. And the lesson, however, is how fast big lists, relationship, social media, and fake news can spread. I mean, if you take a look at it, what happened with it, it was a couple people posted about it, and it really, in an instant, everyone thought Dan had passed, when if you went and you actually really read, he thought he was moments from passing, but not past.
Yep. Yeah, I got that letter, and I understood it. Oh. We got Saulo in Brazil, and we have Colin in Perth, Australia. We got people from all around the world. We have Deb Millette. I think Deb is in Canada, if I remember correctly.
But Rich, how cool is it that you can have an audience now from Australia to the U.S. to to UK to U.S. to Tokyo? I mean, it's literally all the way around. So that was great.
Yeah, it's that was what blew me away when I wrote the manifesto, that like within a week it was in more countries than even like a multinational company could have done on their own, years ago. Hello to Victor in New Jersey, and Troy. Thank you for sharing it in your group.
Thanks, Troy.
And Maut from New Zealand. Very cool. Good day to you. Rami, I was lucky to meet Dan Kennedy personally years ago. He is a rock star. He is. Although doesn't look like a rock star. Kind of looks more like a direct response legend, personally. Kim Phillips invited him in our group recently, and I was blown away, and such a great sense of humor. Yep, he certainly does. Master copywriter. Yes. You're getting an eco. or ECO? Any
Might
idea what
be-
that means? What?
Eco or ego?
Ego. Who's getting an ego?
I don't know.
Oh, Darcy. That was Darcy? That's not the same
That's not
Darcy?
Darcy though. That's not our
Yeah.
Darcy.
I'll share the event in my group, live event
Thanks,
marketers
Troy.
on sale now. Cool, thanks. Dan deserves the BMF belt. Yeah, I think you'd have to take it away from Masvidal, though, and that would be hard. Rami is in Mexico. Cool. Where can we find the details like cost, etc., for the event? Right below us, you should see a scrolling thing right below us. It's a bit.ly, and it says Kennedy-Schefren. That'll take you there. And what's the name? Like, what's the Facebook group so that for people tomorrow, and tell them about the time as well?
Yeah, so tomorrow it'll be on the No BS Inner Circle page.
Is that a free group?
It's a free, that's actually our free forward-facing group. And then we also have the No BS Inner Circle private group you can request. We actually let non-paying members in. It's a private group, so it'll be great. Actually, Dean Jackson, so I'll be interviewing him on Friday from Cleveland for upcoming content. So yeah, that's awesome. But the event will be on June 8th and 9th, live here from Cleveland, certainly around the globe. We'll start, I believe, at 9 o'clock Eastern time on Tuesday. It's a Tuesday and a Wednesday. And it's $14.97 to attend, virtual $19.97 to attend here in person. And that also includes the recordings for everybody. And that way you go back and watch again, or if you can't watch, all day on our platform that we use for streaming, you'll be able to have access to them. But certainly one of the things that I recommend to people is if you're going to attend a virtual event, attend it and plan it just like you're attending in person, because you got to block your day out, because if you're on Zoom and Facebook and 3 other platforms, really you're not attending. So for your own benefit, it's best to shut everything else off and plan like you're in person in the room. So yeah, Rich, what about you? You're going to be, why don't you share a little bit about your presentation, and then we'll answer some questions, and
cool.
We'll wrap.
Yeah. Well, the first thing is that let me I'm going to talk about it as I scroll through these. But if you have the opportunity to come in person and be one of the lucky 150 people, you definitely should take that opportunity. For one, I'll be there, and the first day, I'll be teaching when Dan's teaching a lot. I'll be teaching after, but then the following day I'll be around, and anyone that is that I know that comes, I'd be glad to hang out, spend some time with you. I leave from this event to then go to another event, a mastermind event with Tim Bird and Maxwell Finn in St. Pete, I think. But yeah, so let's just Deb is in Orlando, so I apologize, Deb. I thought you were in Canada for some reason. Dan Kennedy is an amazingly generous man, super brilliant mind, and has a sense of humor. His Dan Kennedy only trainings in suburban Cleveland until June 2019 were a must-attend event every year. I totally agree, Eric, and that's where this one will be. And that's
Eric's awesome.
I
think Eric's north of the border. I think he might be able to comment if he's still locked up. I think he's up in Quebec, I believe.
Yeah, and he was commenting on YouTube. Hey, Rich, Brian from Houston. Got my first Dan Kennedy book in 1997 and then joined his newsletter. Very cool, Brian. And Rich, do you think you could someday bring John Carlton in? Of course I could. I can twist his arm and get him to do it much earlier than I could Dan, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
I was supposed to let you know that earlier you were getting an echo. Got it, but I guess it's gone now. It's kind of amazing that you know them all. Yeah, I guess I was lucky. I came in right at the right time. How to make millions with your ideas. Yeah, that was a good bug and program. Dan Kennedy should do TikTok videos. That would be epic. Yeah, it'd be like shit entrepreneurs say, right? Like I remember there was a Twitter page that was shit my dad says, and it was all funny stuff, and then eventually got published as a book, and it was comments like, I have an even better idea for a vacation. Why don't all of you go on vacation, leave me at home, and that will be my vacation?
Yep. Dan's favorite part of tomorrow will certainly be the 20 or 30 minutes we do Facebook Live. He always enjoys Facebook Live.
Yeah. So, what I'm going to be talking about at this event is really, I I really enjoy going to events these days. And the reason I enjoy going to events these days is because, I have at this point about 120 contributors to Steal Our Winners that we're in contact with each and every month. And they tell us when they have something that's working and working well that the world doesn't know about. So whether it's a tactic that can get you #1 rankings in YouTube, like being ranked for digital marketing strategies or how to get new customers, like I have those #1 rankings in YouTube, or whether it's how to a couple of lines that will keep you out of the promotion box and make sure that all your emails land in the inbox and not the promotion box, or whether you want to build a targeted list of your competitors' customers, or whether you want to know the 2 magic words to put in an ad that actually can double click-through rates, and it's not free and it's not anything like that, then you want to be at this event. There are certain things that I can never share in Steal Our Winners, primarily because it reaches too big of an audience. Pretty much 99% of tactics end up in Steal Our Winners. But I'd say of, 1 or 2 a year, I'm just not able to share because too many people would know about it and it would ruin it. So I get to share things like that at events like these. And so that's what I'll be sharing. So for anyone who's a fan of Steal Our Winners, then you will be a fan of my presentation. And if you don't know the difference that the right strategy versus the wrong strategy can make in your business, then let me tell you a few stories real quick. So the first time, I did a presentation about a month ago in California where I told people, as with my stature and everything else and what I've been able to accomplish, you'd think maybe that I've had lots of wonderful ideas, but I really haven't. I've had 3 really profitable ideas and I stole a 4th one. And the first idea I had was to give away really great content at a time when no one else was. And that's why the manifesto went viral. And that's, I was able to get millions of downloads, not spending a penny on advertising. And that was because the free model was in its infancy at that time. But if today you were going to take that approach, you would not achieve any level of success like I achieved. Yep. That was in 2006. In 2007, we were the first company, Strategic Profits, to stream live from a seminar. And just the fact that we were streaming that first hour from the seminar, we had 10,000 people show up, and we sold out. We opened up my coaching program just for people who joined. They could then watch the rest of the seminar during that live stream. And I think we oversold it because the sales were coming in at over 100 a minute, and at $3,000 to $4,000 a sale, you want to keep those couple. So Jeff Walker wanted me to pull the plug after a minute, and I'm like, dude, I'm making $300,000 a minute. How you tell me to pull the plug? But we pulled the plug after 3.5 minutes, and so that was the second time, and that was in 2007. And then late 2007, 2008 is when we invented the automated webinar. And then with the automated webinar, I gave that to Russell Brunson and I gave it to Mike Filsame, and we all crushed it. At that time, it was so simple to get people to show up, to register, everything else. If you were to do those same strategies today, they would not work any nearly as well. Then the idea I stole was from John Benson. And so John Benson invented the VSL in 2005. He created some VSLs for Mike Geary in 2006. I saw one of those. I took that to Agora in 2006, and that increased conversion rates worldwide, 250 to 300%. What earned me a $1 billion testimonial from Agora. And Today, though, at Agora, when we use VSLs and we split test them against regular sales letters, the difference is de minimis. Like there's no longer a lift anymore. And the first course, John Benson invented VSLs in 2005, at the end of 2005. The first course that he ever released on VSLs was in 2010. I invented automated webinars towards the end of 2007, early 2008. The first course on leveraging automated webinars wasn't until after 2010. And by the time that these things come out, they work, but they don't work anywhere near as well as when these tactics are first developed and when they're first leveraged, because we all know it. I mean, marketers will abuse the shit out of something that worked really well until it stops working. Yeah. And you want to be at the front of that curve, not at the end of the curve, right? And that's why I created Steal Our Winners. And what I'll be bringing to this event are things like that, right? Like, what is everyone doing that you look up to that has a webinar? What are they doing to make that webinar work? There are specific strategies that haven't made it into courses yet that are making people's webinars work. If you sell on the phone, then you have had to have seen a decrease in your ability to book strategy sessions over the last 4 years. Well, what are the new people doing now? They still do strategy sessions, but there are new methods that are actually replacing that model that if you don't know about and you sell on the phone, it's costing you money every single day. Right. Yep. So the difference between using the right strategies at the right time versus the wrong ones, or the same strategies that everyone else is using, is the difference between a business that you really have to work at to make it not grow. Right. Like you'd have to do something so stupid to make it not grow, with when all of a sudden all of your sales letters increase conversion rates at 300%. Or all of a sudden your ad cost gets cut in half, or all of a sudden you're able to get people on the phone 4 times as much as you were before. All of these things are currently being done by others and you don't know about them. Yep. And that's the whole point of what my presentation will be about and Steal Our Winners is about. And I'm pulling from that, right? But I'm also pulling from outside.
Well, it's like the whole concept of 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4. When you start doing, a lift on your webinar, a lift on your webinar follow-up, a lift on your conversion to getting people on the phone, you're doing multiplication, and it's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, and you get a number much larger than 2 + 2 to equal 4. And really, multiplication is a lot more fun than addition. And leverage in marketing and these small little hinges, all compounded, make an enormous difference in your business. And really, the strategies that you have created over the many years, have been swiped and deployed, or
I've read a bunch of manifestos that used my personal stories, which I thought was a little much, but yes, for sure. And that's the bet. Look, if something is working, that's what you want to use. That's the thing. Now, I know I saw some people ask a question. And Darin asked the question too. I don't normally wear glasses. I only wear glasses at night. I started last Thursday in my live stream because I found that these are blue blocking. That's all they are, just blue light blocking. And it's 7:40 here in Florida. So let's just say
it's nearly time to tune down for the evening.
Yes, it will be in a few minutes. I want to give you one last opportunity to say anything, but before that, let's just go through the rest of the comments. Eric says, Darin Spindler, you are also a rock star and always so humble, true inspiration. I hope I can come from Canada. Indeed. Yeah, Canada's tough. I have some friends that are telling me that if they don't open Canada in 2 more months, they're moving out.
Yeah, I was on the phone with a client last week from Canada, and he said they're more locked down right now than they've been throughout the entire last year. He can't even leave his neighborhood barely to go to get groceries now.
Yeah, my ex-wife, who I'm still close with, is Canadian, and she went home for a visit, and none of her family would see her. That's how scared everyone is there, especially because she lives in Florida, and we're evil here, I guess. Answered all the questions way after his presentation, while Kim, his wife, was there, and a sharp conversation too, as a former Wall Street banker. Cool. Love SOW. Thank you for not being copywriter rich. That was a damn good curiosity river upper to go to the event. LOL. I'm proud of it. I was like, I could have just put, Asma. Good to see you, Asma. And Mark Waller. Hey, Mark. And hey, Rich, it's John Sinclair. I'm on my phone, so my channel is different than my name. Hope all is well. All is well. Cool. So, so that's it, man. I don't know what else, if there's anything, Darin, that you wanted to add.
No, I think just, we've got 150 tickets available in person. There's probably about 50, roughly speaking, left to claim. We just found out 2 hours ago, Ohio is going wide open on June 2nd. So I don't think we have to worry about any more capacity situations. But we're still going to keep it relatively small, because Dan is actually one of the individuals who, if he does have a virus situation, it could be certainly deadly to him. And we've played it very careful in any events that we've had. We've actually had 2 with people here with Dan over the last year. So we're keeping that very close. But if you'd like one of the last, 50-ish tickets, we'd love to have you here in Cleveland. If not, we'd love to have you join us, certainly on the live stream. It's going to be incredible. I mean, Dan Kennedy for 6 hours. You're going to get John Carlton, Rich Schefren, Craig Simpson, who is actually, and I forgot to mention him before, but Craig is Dan's personal list broker for all of his list buying. And we're going to talk about the millions of pieces of mail he sends every year. Travis Lee, John Carlton,
and you,
Bob Rigneris, Darcy, myself, and Michael Johnson. And it's going to cover the gamut from writing copy to online and offline in all fashions. And we have a money-back guarantee on the event. Certainly you come the first day, you don't enjoy the event, you think you've wasted your time, Rich, it's going to be up to you, because you're going to be the end of day one, so don't screw it up.
Yeah, I can handle it. I can handle that kind of pressure.
We're guarantee this event. And Rich, certainly you have your link. It's a bit.ly link, and it's Kennedy-Schefren. And we'd love to have people join us for the event. But I want to thank you for the time tonight. I know it's late for you. It's also late for me. And I actually have one more class to teach tonight.
Oh, Jesus. Really? That
yes,
sucks.
really. We have a 8-week course that is Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And this is week 3.
Wow. Well, this is the end of day 3 for me of a fast. I haven't eaten since Sunday night. And so that's another reason why I'm calling it a night early. So I wish you the best of luck on your next call and for week 3. And I will see you in Cleveland, and hopefully we talk before then. But I'm looking forward to it. And I hope everyone else here at least really looks into the opportunity. There's going to, no offense to Dan, I think there's not going to be that many of these that are probably going to happen. And to have the opportunity to learn from John Carlton and Dan Kennedy, those were the 2 people who were speaking at the very first Dan Kennedy event that I went to. And I went home, I wrote a sales letter. I needed to make money. I was not in the best of places. And that sales letter brought me back $287,000 in a week. And that was my very first sales letter that I ever wrote. And it was teaching what I learned in the hypnosis business to other hypnosis businesses. And it sold a $10,000 info product. And I never, I learned how to write copy at that event. And it was a combination of John Carlton, because John Carlton has a way of just write the damn thing. Get it done. Just make the sell the damn thing. And then Dan's nuances on how to kind of set up the structure. Those of you who got the benefit of my notes from Dan from 20 years ago, I posted them in the Facebook group last week. And that's all I got. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Darin, for
Rich, I appreciate your time tonight. It's been great. I look forward to seeing you here in Cleveland. And certainly we'd love to have some of your subscribers and viewers join us here in Cleveland. It's going to be really a great time.
Very cool. I hope they join us as well. And tell Dan when you talk to him tomorrow, give him a warning. Tell him I am going to try and sell him on switching to an iPad and being able to speed read at whatever rate that he could speed read, at whatever size words he needs to see those words, and yet it will now move and read it to him at that speed.
I will mention it to him. It will be interesting to see his response.
I feel like, I know it's a long shot, but the reason why, like, I know he knows that I read like a crazy man, right? So just because he will respect the fact that I read like in line with him, and I have a way of reading that is already very friendly to his condition, I think we might be able to make it happen. I want him to keep reading. I want him to keep growing, you know?
Yeah.
So that's my hope, at least.
Awesome. Rich, have a great night.
You too, man. Talk soon.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.